If you look at the featured boost system in the game right now for some of the content, it does look like Cell is primed to get the next Zenkai. However, I'm here to tell you why in today's video. I'm not so sure that that's going to be what happens. And just so we're clear, I mainly meant like some of the PvE related content. Anyway, moving on. So first things first, the Cell Saga campaign is winding down. I don't know if they're even going to do anything else in this campaign. They could mess around and just announce the next campaign. In fact, I think that's more likely. So we'll see what that is. Post down below what you think that could wind up being. I'm hoping it's something different like Resurrection F or Battle of Gods. Something super underrepresented. But the Cell Saga campaign, in my opinion, I think has been a pretty big success. Post down below what your thoughts are on it. And throughout the campaign, we've got a number of new characters and Zenkais, all of which are pretty solid characters in their own right. And then there's Vegeta. We also did get a number of really strong equipment too. So I think that, again, we're probably done. So that's the first reason why I don't think that we're going to be getting a Cell Zenkai. Next reason is that there's actually kind of already a decent bit of Cell representation. They gave us a Zenkai for not just a willy-nilly random Cell like Red Cell, who already has one, but you get the point. They get, well, another Red Cell. You get the point. They gave one to a revival character. For the first time ever, a revival character is getting that. That's pretty monumental. We also technically got more representation in the form of the free-to-play first form Cell. So would there be another Cell Zenkai? I think that's probably a bit much, considering, again, we already got a Cell Zenkai in the campaign. And for my next bit of evidence, Judge, I submit perfect Cell's already pre-existing kit in the game. So on the surface, he's not great, but he does. This is a character that has a lot of potential if they were to Zenkai him to be a quote-unquote Gohan stopper, which is really weird because that is probably a little bit too fast. Oftentimes they'll release a character and then they'll come back 2 to 3 months later and give us a fix for the character, a counter to the character, whatever it is. I've said it before in the past. They'll create a problem, whether that's by releasing a broken-ass character or by creating some sort of crazy mechanic, and then they'll come back and sell a solution to said problem. That is how you make money if you're them, and if you're in the mobile gaming industry that's, predicated on power creep, blah, blah, blah. That is how this works. So Cell, if we look at his kit, like I said, is already kind of primed to be a really strong meta counter. But before we hop into that, be sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up as well. The like goal for today is going to be 800. If you see the video below, you know what to do. No, not that. This. Turn it up. Hit that button. It would greatly appreciate. I would greatly appreciate it. Would greatly help as well. So starting things off with Cell, aside from the stuff that he has, interacting with revival characters, which now that we've got another one in circulation is even more powerful. That's a really strong effect. Does he have? Let me know your thoughts. Does he have the second best version of a not Rising Rush, but the revival mechanic, the anti-revival thing? It's not called that, but it's whatever it is. Whatever it's called, damn it. Revive Disruption. Does he have the second best Revive Disruption behind only Gogeta? I think he might. I think there's some other ones that are close. Anyway, when you look at Cell, he's kind of interesting because, let's just pull this up. He does, well, I don't know, this. Attack up against Saiyans and attack up against hybrids. Plus 30%, plus 20% to hybrid Saiyans or Saiyans. My God, he's doing 50% extra damage against hybrids. And he's purple, and Gohan struggles with type neutral. That's all I need to show. I don't need to show jack shit else. That's all I need to show. That's like Cell, I think, would really, really make things tough for Gohan. Okay, well, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. Let's look at the teams Cell would slide into. And we're looking at Android. Now, admittedly, Android is more of a ranged team versus being a melee team, but if I'm being honest with you, I don't care. I'm running it. In fact, the best version of Android becomes what? Purple, purple, red? You just run over Gohan and UI all in one go. Now, here's a fun fact. If you have Gohan, yeah, you probably are running him with Ultra UI, and yeah, if somebody brings their purple Cell, you're probably going to try to snipe him with Ultra UI. That's just how the game goes. Rock, paper, scissors, baby. It is what it is. Color beats color. I can't stop that. Ultra UI is super strong because of the sniping ability, but nonetheless, in a one-to-one scenario, Cell is the character, regardless of colors, that I think is most primed if you got a Zenkai to be an effective counter to Gohan for multiple reasons. I didn't go into it too much, but for multiple reasons. Now, I want to show you kind of how the game's history kind of lays out in terms of the release of characters and their counters, right? So let's start with Ultra UI. He released just before Christmas of last year, so he's actually over 3 months old now, so it's been a little bit of time. And within the last month or so, we got the release of Super 17, who is this guy's designated counter, right? He interacts with him in a way that pretty much no other character does. Now, I do want to throw the caveat that if you were to say, okay, well, what about Beast Gohan? Beast Gohan released in that same time. But yeah, most of the time for these characters, because the game is so stacked on the top end. In fact, this may be the most stacked top 15, top 20 that we've ever had in the history of this game, if you sit down and think about it, because you can use a lot of characters in that range that are all really damn good and can go up and down, depending on the matchup that you're in. Even a character like Goku and Frieza is not great at all, but they can still peak super high in the certain matches that you might be in with them. Anyway, so yeah, you could say maybe Beast Gohan, who I actually said interacted super duper well with this guy, but nonetheless, 17 was the one that they chose to designate as the release to counter him. In fact, let's look at another Ultra release. Ultra Gogeta Blue is released for the prior Legends Festival, and he dominated the game to a level probably no character had dominated to up to that point. But I don't want to say that because there have been a lot of broken characters. But anyway, in April or so, Ultra Kid Buu comes out and he asks him for his card, checks him in at the door, and just bodies him. He's totally destroyed. But guess what? Because like I said, the game is a rock, paper, scissors, color beats color game. Vegito comes in and absolutely nullifies him. And then from there, we have Vegito getting ran shot by Super Janemba, but all the while, Super Janemba... You get the point. Now, we can circle some of these characters and point to various different characters that might have performed well versus them, or different ways that they can interact, or even some LF releases that interacted really well with them. For example, Vegito kind of was also, I believe, if I recall correctly, hard-walled by the Namek Super Saiyan Goku. Blue characters in particular that were able to chop his ki was really, really strong. So they combat that by producing Janemba with his gauge and ki protection. But if you were able to play around some of the timers on Janemba, or hit him with a ranged blue card instead of like a dash forward one, then you could also easily deal damage to Janemba, and he wouldn't be as much of a problem. So the point is, all these characters have flaws, and then they have characters that come out and exploit those flaws, if that wasn't clear enough. Now again, it's not always Ultra, it's Ultra LF or LF Ultra, whatever it is. The point is that these characters interact in a really interesting way. In fact, who would Gohan be the designated counter for? I'm not sure Gohan is a counter for anybody. I mean, other prominent blues in the game would be Goku and Bardock, and then the other Goku from the GT. I don't know that Gohan is a counter to anybody in particular, other than maybe one of those characters, but you get the point. So the point is that Gohan just releasing, it's probably a little bit too soon for them to be trying to produce anything that even interacts with him. You want to know something funny? I'm not going to do the whole history lesson thing this time, but there have been numerous times where they drop a really strong character, and then the next several releases are all characters that are designed to be food for that character. And this is also business 101. They say, for example, a strong blue comes out, then the next 5 releases are all like red characters. It doesn't happen like that all the time. Well, the next 2 to 3 releases are all red characters that would ordinarily be pretty good, right? But they're not, because there's this really strong blue character in every goddamn match. So like, they're not. So they age better, right? That's actually ironically what happened to the Gammas. It was like, I remember when the Gammas released, I was like, man, these guys would be super good if they had reverse element, because freaking Vegito Blue is in every game. Well, all that happened from there was, as things loosened up around that, blues were able to come out, be more relevant, and then the Gammas aged up into better characters. And you can make an argument that they're the best release from the anniversary right now, including Vegito Blue. You can make that argument. You can make that argument about several characters. The point is that it was Vegito Blue, Goku and Frieza, and then nobody else basically for a little bit of time, despite how niche they could potentially be. So all in all, I don't think that there's really much of a chance that happens. In fact, I think that we've probably run our course. The campaign has been on for a while. Let's see how long it's actually been on, but I think it's been on for a while. Vegeta still got 8 days left. So, okay, so there's at least, with Vegeta and Gohan, there might be a teaser for another campaign soon, but I think there is actually a decent chance there is a Zenkai this week. Because there's not going to be a new character banner, because they have another week to fill, right? There's a decent chance there is actually another character. So, okay, if I'm saying that it's not Cell, then this is where we're going to end it. Which, by the way, I would, for the record, totally not be surprised if it's Cell. Like, I would not be surprised. I don't think it's him, but I wouldn't say it's a 0% chance. I think maybe a 25% chance, right? And you would, if it's Cell, you'd hope that they do it right, because I would also be worried that they're going to gimp his Zenkai. You know what other thing that might be in play here? Here's something else, like, as a thought. If it is Cell, they may actually be okay with releasing Cell, considering 2 factors. The fact that this guy exists, and the fact that the other purple cell exists, because a lot of times they're more okay with releasing a character, and this is going to lead to my actual prediction, they're more okay with releasing a Zenkai for a previous character that may or may not have been a good character at their time, whatever, if there's another character directly in competition on their same team that fits the same color. You know, we've seen that happen several times. If you go back and look at some of the other releases for characters, it's like, oh, this character's not getting a Zenkai. Oh, they drop a premium character. Oh, all of a sudden that older character gets a Zenkai. So if we pull up Cell Saga, there is a green character that I think could potentially get it, and he's just kind of chilling down here without it. So I would, just to say this, I would not be surprised if this guy winds up getting a Zenkai. If there is a Zenkai this week, I think it's definitely one of those two. I mean, outside shot, who's an outside shot character, just off the top of my head? Would it be First Form Cell? Nah. The red Cell, the green Gohan, those characters are too new. All these other characters are free. It's like low-key, it's one of 4 characters because everyone else has a Zenkai or is too new. It's Blue 18, this Goku that we just pointed out, Hercule, or First Form Cell. That's it. Everyone else is either too new or a free character. Well, okay, they could do a free Zenkai, but I just wouldn't expect it, right? Those are very few and far between. So it could be a number of characters. You know, Blue 18 could be kind of useful, I think. She's a support type? Melee type or support? Where's her support? Where's it at? Melee type. Okay, she could be kind of useful, I think. But if I had to bet, I think it would be Goku. Because of the Gohan synergy, because we've got cell representation. Pull him up. Okay, it just doesn't want to pull him up. Okay, there it is. Because I think that would work out pretty well. And a fun thing about this Goku is he could actually be a really solid support by today's standards because he's so damn old. He has a designated bonus to Gohan. You've got to imagine that whether he keeps this or not, it just turns into being just a flat damage increase to Gohan of like 25%, and then all other allies are getting 25%, but that would include Gohan because it wouldn't say allies other than Gohan. Also, he would have 2 cover rescues, so you can save your Gohan. Yeah, that just green-yellow sounds crazy with this guy, Gohan, and UI. That actually may be worse than purple-red. Actually, purple-red would just absolutely just destroy that team. But still, all right, guys, let me know what you think. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.